Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Lee. Every day we come together to explore this life, to explore what's happening in this world, to explore how do we become a greater expression. You see, how you choose to think creates your reality. I talk about that in and out, and I keep coming back to that. Every circumstance is a reflection of our inner beliefs. See, things happen, but how we think about them creates the experience that we have with them. When we learn to shift our perspective, looking for the gifts, looking for the fresh understanding of the idea, then our circumstances will change, they will improve. How we look at anything dictates our experience, but we have been conditioned to look at it. I'm just going to say the glass is half empty. It's always the glass is half empty. We're thinking about that. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this. I don't have that. Well, what is that? Well, that's the materialistic point of view, isn't it? That all of our good, everything we need, the rewards, the joys, the peace of life comes from the outside. And the fact of the matter is, everything that comes to us is a response to how we choose to think, how we choose to focus, how we choose to look at life. What if you developed the attitude and truly accepted the fact that everything that happens to you is for the purpose of you becoming more aware? Think about that. Everything, if you had the ability to really be conscious and understand that everything that happens to you is to make you more aware. Wow. Think about that. You become a conscious creator because you understand that everything that's happening is for your good. It's for your further expansion, further joy. See, how you choose to think, yeah, Corey, it is your beliefs. Here's the thing. Most people don't consciously choose their beliefs. They don't even know they have a lot of their beliefs. Most people are so unconscious, they don't realize that thoughts are creating their lives. They believe that they are victims. They're victims to the government. They're victims to society. They're victims to their partner. They're victims to whatever the situation is. The fact of the matter is, our thoughts have always changed our life. And so what happened? What happened from the little 5-year-old boy or girl that you were, who loved, who had an imagination, who was out there just experiencing life, curious beyond belief? What happened to that 5-year-old? Because that's the person you want to be, because a 5-year-old is curious. Unless you beat something into a 5-year-old by the process of domestication, that 5-year-old will have an experience, move on. 5-year-old have an experience, move on. 5-year-old and having an experience and move on. Because it realizes that everything is for a greater experience. And it has the experience, it creates an imagination, it moves on with that. I thought you were referring to beliefs. Consciousness comes from experience. Consciousness can come from experience if you're aware. But most people aren't aware, so all the experience that most people have done nothing to make them more aware because they've numbed down to it. The greatest gift that I think I gave my 2 sons, and the greatest gift I'm going to give to my granddaughter, and the greatest gift I give to all those who follow me, is I teach. Trust yourself. Think for yourself. Don't believe anything until you prove it for yourself. Now you become conscious, because anytime a belief enters into your life, you're testing it. You're proving it to yourself. Does this belief serve me? Does it work for me? Does it cause me to be a greater expression? Is it bringing me into my dreams? But wait a second, Lee. What if I don't have any dreams? Well, that's another issue, right? That's another concept to be explored because most people have stopped dreaming. They settled for a logical progression, and it may be a downward one. It may be one buying into the narrative put out there in social media, in the news, whatever, instead of dreaming. Dreaming about how you would love your life to be, how you would love to use your talents. That's right. How would you love to use your gifts, your talents in the world? In the world, serving other people. Serving other people. Essential Earnest, wonderful class. Jesse Jennings did an incredible job writing the book, The Essential Earnest. Taught it many times. Hey, all of you, if you're interested in being in classes with me, starting next week, Monday, I'm going to be doing a 10-week class on spiritual foundations. It's an incredible class. It's the basic class of everything I teach. And on Tuesday, I'm going to do a class on the 7 habits to success by Deepak Chopra. I forget the exact name of it. If you want any of that information, go to agapespiritualcenter.com. Love to have you in class. That's where I go deep. I go deep in classes. Here, I give you a little bit of ideas. I sort of give you a small appetizer. On Sundays, I give a little bit bigger appetizer. But the work is done in the class. And then from there, the work is done in your daily life. And the work is choosing how you think. Lori says, I don't get home from work until 8. I'm sorry you have to drive to work. You'd probably, if you didn't have to drive, you could have said some time. Save some time. Time is the most valuable thing. Some people at Agape locally want me to go back to doing classes in person. And I said no. Because for me, when we did have classes in person, I'd have to drive almost an hour and then leave and drive in almost an hour back. And other people would have to drive. Guess what? I'd rather use that time more deliberately. So I love doing classes online. Absolutely love it. And there's connection. Everything that happens online can happen in person. Other than you can't hug. You're not right there with them, but you can have an intimate relationship online. You and I are having one now, especially if we were on Zoom right now. Because then you could interact with me. Right now, you've got, because of this type of podcast, you're interacting with your comments on the side. So if you haven't checked in, I'd love for you to check in because I love to know who's out there, who's watching. Most of the people that have checked in, I know. I've seen them many times before on these talks, but I know that you're out there and you may not. You might be shy. You might be shy. I don't want him to know I'm watching. Well, okay, that's okay. I'm not going to be upset by that. Thanks, Sabrina, for checking in. And I see Corey and Delpha and Pab. What the hell does Pab stand for? Anyway, I just showed that. Balu Bear, well, for all you out there, I noticed that Balu Bear is Lori, Lori, so you know who she is. And Jeannie and Sabrina. Yeah, you'll get a shift when you focus on areas of your life that you're hiding from. And many of us do that. We repress. We repress things we don't want to deal with, and then they sit there and they fester. And they fester. And they fester. And they fester until you deal with them. And when I say deal with them, it's to balance them, to bring them into equanimity, to see the good and the bad of both until it's in balance. Once a situation can be seen in balance, it no longer has the mental, emotional impact on us because we understand that life is always in balance, and that's life's natural state. Oh, Mark is Balu. Okay. I guess you're just using his thing. Every circumstance and the experience of every circumstance is a reflection of your inner beliefs. You don't like what you're experiencing? Change your perception. This is a great time to become abundant. But if you're focusing on lack, guess what? You're going to get lack. No matter what the economics are out there are people getting wealthy because they're finding a way to bring their gifts into the world and serve greater and greater and greater numbers of people. I say that to you, giving you that piece of advice. You've got gifts. Try to serve greater and greater and greater numbers of people, whatever that gift might be. And when you do something, do it with a joyful expression. Don't do it because I got to do this. I got to do this. No, I choose to do this. And because I choose to do this, I'm going to give it my very best. With that, that's the message for today. I'd love for you to share this message. I'd love for you to share everything that I do if you find it valuable. Because if you find it valuable, there'll be other people that find it valuable. Oh, Pab says, Pab is my husband's initials. I am using his phone. He uses our computer working from home. So I use the phone to join here. Thanks for asking. So it's Carol. So now we know that Pab is Carol. Well, at least I'll know that for today. I might forget it tomorrow. Anyway, make this your best day ever. Begin to dream. As your life has experienced today, ask the question, what belief is causing that experience? If you don't like it, change how you focus on it. Until tomorrow, much love to all of you. Aloha.